Hi there. Today you're going to hear an interesting story. My husband disappeared for 3 days, and the truth broke my heart in a way I didn't expect. Make sure to listen until the end. If you enjoy it, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's begin. My name is Claire. I'm 31, and if someone told me 6 months ago that my marriage would almost fall apart because of a 3-day disappearance, I would have laughed. Mark and I had been together for 8 years, married for 5, and although things weren't perfect, they were ours. Stable, predictable in a comforting way. Or at least that's what I believed. This story isn't about crime, cheating, or anything graphic, but it is about secrets, fear, and discovering that even the people closest to you can surprise you in ways you never imagined. And that sometimes, the truth hurts even when nobody meant to cause pain. 1. The night. He didn't come home. It started on an ordinary Wednesday. Mark texted me around 6 p.m. "Running late, don't wait up for dinner." That wasn't unusual. He worked in IT and deadlines often kept him at the office. By 10 p.m., he still wasn't home. I called. No answer. I texted. Nothing. By midnight, I was pacing the living room, convincing myself everything was fine. By 2 a.m., I wasn't convincing myself anymore. I was panicking. Mark wasn't the kind of man who ignored calls. He wasn't reckless or spontaneous. He was steady, routine-driven. The guy who put his keys in the same spot every single day for 8 years. I barely slept that night. By morning, he still hadn't come home. I called the police, but they said what police always say. He's an adult. Missing adults often return within 48 hours. 48 hours. That number stuck in my chest like a stone. I went through every scenario: car accident, injury. Maybe he lost his phone. Maybe his battery died. But a darker thought kept creeping in. Maybe he left me. I hated myself for thinking it. But fear does that. It makes every shadow look like a threat. 2. Day 2. The silence becomes a message. If day 1 was panic, day 2 was agony. I called his office. He hadn't shown up. I called his coworkers. Nobody had heard from him since the previous afternoon. His car wasn't at work. His phone went straight to voicemail. And the house felt painfully quiet. Too quiet. I searched everywhere in our home for something, anything, that might explain what was happening. I didn't even know what I was looking for. A note? A clue? Evidence of something I'd missed? Instead, I found something unsettling. His passport. And next to it, an envelope with my name on it. My hands shook as I opened it. Inside was nothing. Completely empty. An empty envelope with my name. It felt like a message. I just didn't know what it meant. By the end of day 2, the police finally agreed to file a missing person report. That night, I slept on the couch, the TV humming quietly because the silence made everything worse. 3. Day 3. The door finally opens. At 3:17 a.m. on the 3rd night, I heard the front door unlock. Every emotion slammed into me at once. Relief, anger, fear, confusion. Mark stepped inside, looking exhausted, pale, and shaken. Not guilty, not angry, just broken. He froze when he saw me sitting on the couch. "Claire," he whispered, "I'm so sorry." I stood but didn't move toward him. "Where were you?" He closed the door behind him. "I'll explain everything. I didn't know how to tell you." My heart thundered in my chest. "Tell me what?" I demanded. He sank onto the armchair like his legs couldn't hold him up anymore. "I wasn't missing," he said. "I wasn't running away. I wasn't cheating. I was in a hospital." A hospital? My anger evaporated instantly, replaced by cold fear. "What happened? Are you hurt?" He shook his head slowly. "Not physically." Something about the way he said that made my stomach twist. "I had a panic attack," he said quietly. "A really bad one. The worst one I've ever had. I thought I was dying." My breath caught. I drove myself to a hotel because I didn't want you to see me like that. And then I just couldn't leave. I couldn't move. I couldn't call anyone. I shut down completely. I stared at him. 3 days, silent, gone. Because of a panic attack? Didn't make sense, but then he said the part that broke me. I've been having them every week for the last 6 months. At work, in the car, sometimes in the bathroom at home. I didn't tell you because I didn't want you to think I was weak. He ran a hand through his hair, shaking. And then on Wednesday, I felt one coming, but it was worse, so much worse. I pulled into a hotel parking lot and I stayed there. I thought if I walked into our house looking like that, you'd leave me. 4. The anger I didn't expect. Here's the thing nobody talks about when someone returns after disappearing. Relief doesn't erase anger. You can feel love and rage at the same time. I knelt in front of him. Mark, you should have told me. We could have gotten help. Why didn't you call me? Why did you let me think? My voice cracked. He looked away. I didn't want you to see me like that. I didn't want to be a burden. A burden? 8 years together, and that's what he thought he was? It gutted me, but it also made me furious. You didn't trust me, I whispered. You trusted a hotel room more than your own wife. He flinched. We didn't fight, we didn't yell, but that moment built a wall between us. We went to bed in silence, me staring at the ceiling, him curled on the very edge of the mattress. 5. The envelope. The next morning, I brought up the envelope with my name on it. His face went pale. I forgot about that, he murmured. What is it? I asked. He hesitated. It was supposed to be a letter. I was going to write you something in case something happened to me. I thought maybe the panic attacks were signs of something worse. A heart problem? A brain issue? I wanted you to have something. But it was empty, I said softly. I know, he whispered. I couldn't write the words. I couldn't imagine you reading a goodbye letter from me. I couldn't finish it. There was something devastating about that. He wasn't planning to leave me. He was terrified of losing me. 6. Therapy, secrets, and the slow rebuild. The next weeks were messy. Mark started therapy, medication, regular doctor visits. He promised to tell me everything. Even when it was uncomfortable, I promised to listen, even when I didn't understand. But rebuilding trust is like gluing broken glass. You can do it, but the cracks remain. One night, about a month after everything happened, he finally told me the truth behind his silence. I didn't tell you because I thought my job, my role, my identity, everything that made me feel like a man, was slipping away. And I didn't want you to see me falling apart. I took his hand. I married a human being, not a superhero. You don't have to hide the broken pieces from me. He cried then, really cried, for the first time in years. And in that moment, I realized something important. His disappearance wasn't betrayal. It was fear. Misguided, painful fear, but not abandonment. 7. What I didn't expect to learn. When your partner goes through something like this, people expect you to be endlessly supportive, endlessly understanding. But the truth is messier. Part of me resented him. Part of me felt guilty for resenting him. Part of me worried it would happen again. Part of me felt like I was walking on thin ice, waiting for another 3-day silence. But slowly, therapy helped him. Communication helped us. And the fear began to fade. I learned that mental struggles don't always look dramatic. Sometimes they look like an empty envelope, a missed call, a silent room, a person shutting down out of shame, not malice. I learned that love isn't just shared joy. It's shared vulnerability, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it scares you. 8, 6 months later. Mark hasn't disappeared again. He still has panic attacks, but fewer, and he tells me when they are coming. He doesn't hide. He doesn't run to hotel rooms. Sometimes we sit on the kitchen floor together, breathing through the anxiety. Sometimes he cries. Sometimes I cry. But we face it together now. Our marriage isn't perfect, but it's real. And I've come to realize something I wish someone told me earlier. Sometimes the person who disappears isn't trying to leave you, and they're trying not to lose themselves.